Speaking of authenticity, you and I are both super video game nerds, so we're gonna throw that out
Yeah.
there.
All
Uh,
right.
top three video games of all time for you.
Ooh,
Not the best
ooh.
games of all time, but your top three favorite
My
games of
top three
all time.
favorite
And
games.
then we'll get
Okay.
back to fitness. But this
Ooh,
is your
okay.
authentic moment here. So
All right, my authentic moment. Okay, this is hard because I've been gaming for more years than I feel like I even want to say
it's
about. But
funny because I ask you top three like it's easy, but I'm like hoping you don't ask me back because I haven't thought about it. So
well, you
go
think I'm not
ahead.
going to fire that one back?
Pressure
Um,
on you.
okay, so this first one is a difficult pick only because they just did the remake. And so to pick between the remake and the original is a difficult process for me because I feel like they're part of the same thing. But I'm going to say Final Fantasy VII. Pick remake or original doesn't matter to me because the story is phenomenal on both ends, in my opinion. Just a great JRPG and something that sort of set the tone for cinematic and theatrical approaches to video games. So that's not even a question for me. Um, Metal Gear Solid, but yet another thing where which do you pick, right? And for that one, I that's a very good question. I'm gonna say not Sons of Liberty.
That's number two.
That's number two. Guns of the Patriots was great.
That's number four.
That's number four. But I'm gonna go with the first one for the PlayStation One, for the
Nice.
PS1. That was a solid gaming experience and one where you got to see the madness of Hideo Kojima at play. He showed us things in video games we didn't think were possible, like to beat this guy, you have to change your controller from port one to port two so he can't read your mind. Who was doing that back then? Nobody. So Metal Gear. That's number two. Third spot. That's rough, man. It's a real rough pick, man. I don't know how I'm gonna pull this last one out. You know what? We're gonna go with Shadow of the Colossus. I'm gonna go with Shadow of the
The
Colossus.
PS2 version or the remake on the PS4?
Yeah, then I'm picking a lot of things where it's like there's a tough choice between them. Eh? Um, I'm gonna go with the remake, like the sort of updated version, for just the reason everything's the same except for the fact that the colossi are far more responsive to you, and so they notice you and care a lot more about your existence, and the AI plays a lot more aggressively with the fact that it knows you're coming to kill it and has no business, wants nothing to do with you, and so will go out of its way to mess you up if it finds the opportunity. And so that sort of updated AI does bring a more immersive energy to the experience. And so I'm going to give it to the remake version. So yeah, that's my top three.
Wow. So I'm gonna go full nerd for the next minute, and then we'll get back to nutrition.
Okay, all right.
So Final Fantasy VII is the first RPG I ever played, and
Oh,
I had no idea what I was doing to the point that, let's say the game took 40 hours to beat. I was 30 hours in before I knew there was any materia. So I wasn't using any magic, any materia for 30 hours. That's how much I had to grind and level up to just physically hit people to kill them.
wow.
So that's embarrassing. And I beat it again this year with all the traveling I've been doing. I got a Switch, which is amazing. So
Nice,
I
yeah.
beat it on the Switch. Then Metal Gear Solid, amazing. And I remember the first one, you're talking about being able to read your mind. And what they did was they were able to read what was on your memory card.
Yeah.
So you'd be playing and they would talk about another game that you had already played because it could read your memory card, but you didn't know that. That wasn't something that happened in video games. So there
Yeah.
was a boss that could read minds and he would tell you things you had already done and you have no idea how he knows this. And that was like a groundbreaking moment. And then
Oh yeah.
last year I beat the remake for Shadow of the Colossus. So we're on the same
Nice.
page. I'm
Hey.
up to speed on all the remakes and replaying your favorite games. So that's awesome.
Nice.
So uh, if there are people listening that don't like video games, we apologize for the last five
We're sorry.
minutes.
We're sorry.
So we'll
We're
get
sorry.
back to the topic at hand.